Hi, it's Romola. Let's try that again. I've just tried to go live on my laptop. What a faff. That was making me frazzled and had to stop it. Because there's a simple way, because when I go on my phone, I can just press a button and go, go, go. So this live is all about emotions, and that's just getting serious around emotions. We might think that they're very bad for us, but actually they're there to tell us something. They're there to support us, for us to have some learning, and for, for warnings even. I mean, our emotions, some of them might come from, sorry, that's the dog scratching to make her nest on the chair for sleeping, so she'll settle in a minute. Some of our emotions we're going to have are learned behaviour and reactions. We might have had something stressful happen to us, and then our body is then programmed to think, right, when that happens, or something that feels like that, this is how I'm going to react. We might have emotion, and that's just that, and that's nature. We've obviously got the flight and I can't talk, head gone. The fight, flight or freeze reaction, which is part of our brain programming from when we were way back before, right at the start of life. And that was our programming, is when you come across a tiger, they're your options. You run, freeze or fight it. And we still have that programming running within us, that when we come into situations, that's what we can start running that program. We have emotions, and we may feel an emotion, but actually it's more prevalent. That negative emotion might be more prevalent, because actually what we want is its opposite. So just thinking like anger, when you have that emotion of anger, what we're really wanting is peace. So I know that when I get really frustrated and angry with the kids, it's because I want peace. It's because I want them to do what they're told so that we can have peace and get on with it. But that anger can really drive it, and that's really important just to recognise, is that the emotions that we have, they are here to be recognised. They are here to be used by ourselves in order to support our lives, support our energies, and to get what we really want. And that's really what I've wanted to come on and chat about. Is I have obviously some tools around emotions, like I have the emotion code, which is great for shifting old stuck emotions that are causing those programs to run, and can get you. They might not even be your emotions. They might be ones that you've inherited from generational. They might be ones from pre-birth, from when you were in the womb. They might be ones from your childhood that you had no control over, but they are emotions that the body didn't know how to solve or deal with, so they just stored it in the body. And our bodies are just full of these emotions. And when you think that we can have, I think it's like 50,000 thoughts a day, I'm sure it's 50,000 thoughts a day, a lot of those can be emotions of things that aren't even true. Like when we judge ourselves, we're often we are always our harshest judges against ourselves. Again, when I'm getting angry, and I'm thinking, oh, why am I getting angry? I shouldn't be getting angry. It's not the kid's fault. It's blah, blah, blah. And I'm having a go at myself for an emotion that's just, by that stage, it's a learned reaction to things not happening at the speed that I want them, so that we can get on and have that peace. So I really want to just come on and just, let's explore emotions. Let's talk about them. They are, even the negative emotions, they are okay. And a lot of people talk about spiritual bypassing, where everything is love and light. Well, everything isn't love and light. Yes, love may be the greatest emotion, and love may be the answer. But actually, before you can get to love, there's a lot of different emotions you're going to have to work your way through. If you think of the Abraham Hicks spiral of emotions, and there's another one by another chap, I can't remember, David somebody or other, that's got the emotions, that you've got those really heavy, darker emotions at the bottom, where anger, despair, depression live. Then you've got the tipping point of courage. And when you've got courage, you've got the ability to move up again. And then you've got towards the top, you've got love, and you've got joy, and you've got the happiness elements. And it's really important that actually it's a ladder. We can't go from anger, frustration, sadness straight up to joy, because actually it's just too big a gap. What we need to do is find stepping stones to lift us up, to move us into that. But what we want to do is recognise that actually, what is that emotion? What is it telling us? What is it teaching us? And that's really important. So, like I said, with them, you know, we've got anxiety, and the opposite of that is peace. Is security. We've got blaming, when you're looking for approval. Confusion is looking for clarity. When we're crying, we're looking for hope. We're looking for something, positive. We're looking, we're looking for. Let's have a look. See what else we've got here. We are looking for heartache. We're looking for happiness. When we're in the hopeless emotion, we're looking for optimism. When we're indecisive, we're looking for confidence. And it's when we understand that there's all these opposites of emotions that then can really help us on our journey. So tools that we can use things like journaling. Why am I feeling, let's have a look. Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Well, actually, the opposite of overwhelm is being unburdened. So, and how can I get to that unburdened state? What steps can I put in that I recognise that I am feeling overwhelmed? What can I do to support myself on my journey from overwhelm to unburdened? And then it's a stepping stone. So it's really important that we don't just think, like I said, the spiritual bypassing of just saying, just focus on love, just focus on this, just focus on this higher thing, because it's like affirmations. It's too far. We need to recognise what the body is telling us, because it's telling us this for a reason. And if we don't understand what that reason is, or if we don't use some tools to clear those emotions, clear that patterning, then it's just going to repeat itself as our default reaction. So I think that's it's a really useful way to look at emotions, especially when we are feeling some of the lower ones, some of the more negative ones. Actually, what is this? Why am I feeling this? What's going on? What can I do to shift myself from this to this? And I think that's really important. Sorry, I'll just take a drink. So, and I think, and also when I've been talking about frazzled quite a lot, because my first book was Frazzled Mum, and it's something I resonate with. It's something I can help and support, because when I've got a lot of tools, and when I use those tools, I'm not so frazzled, or I can flip my emotions reasonably fast to shift myself out of one and into something else, because I've got tools to do that. And that's what I'm going to come and talk about in a minute. So I've got an amazing group program that I'm going to be launching soon, called From Frazzled to Calm in 90 days. And it'll take you on that journey, giving you daily tools and accountability that you can use to support yourself on this journey. Because when we recognise that we are running these default programs, that our default reaction is X, but actually what we really want it to be is Y. So again, that anger is, I don't want to be angry. I want the kids, and for me, to recognise that why the situation is what it is. That's important. Maybe there's something that's happened at school that's blown their mind, and when they get home, that's their safe space, and that's the emotional space that they're able to express themselves. And if I stop for a moment and just consider, for example, why they haven't put the lunch boxes cleaned them out and put them in the dishwasher, and that's not what I get angry about. But it can be these small things that then tip us. But actually, it's just recognising that we are not alone. Our bubble is bumping into everybody else's bubble, and they can feed. And I often use the analogy of the ripple. So when we are in a better place, that ripples out to everybody else, and everything else is shifts and moves. And that's why so much does start with us as females, as mothers, and will then, like I say, ripple. So with frazzled can be so many different things, and I want to thank you all for coming on and sharing what frazzled means to you, because it's so many different things, and it's not that tiny tip that knocks you over, that's the frazzledness. It's that whole mountain, it's that iceberg that's been building slowly over the day, over the week, over the months, over the years even. And that iceberg just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it's that tiny little thing that just tips you over the edge. That's not the problem. The problem is the whole bloody iceberg that's building of all our emotions and all our things that haven't happened, and all of that that's building into this frazzledness. So frazzled, we've got the overwhelm, we've got the anger, we've got the too much to do, we've got the mental strain, the mental load of, it's not just the physical load of dishwashers, lunches, food, cleaning, schoolwork, feeding dog, walking dog, looking after self. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the mental load, it's managing it all up here that also affects everything. That mental load can just get too much and be part of this iceberg that's just, it's not even melting, it's just moving and growing. It's like one of those fatbergs in the sewer. That's a great analogy actually, fatbergs in the sewer, and they're just getting more and more and more if you don't actually stop and use it and clear it and do something about it. And this is where the emotions are so important, because they are, like I said right at the start, they are telling you something. Whatever emotion you are feeling is okay, because that's right where you are at the moment. That is based on your experience, it's based on you, and it's right where you are at the moment. And recognising that can sometimes be difficult, but that's the starting point to then being able to, right, well, if not this, then what? How do I, if this is my emotion, what's the opposite? What am I really looking for? What is the opposite of that emotion? And what are the stepping stones that I can use to shift from here to there? So that, frazzled is so huge. And I know that, like I said, I can go from 0 to 60 on a frazzled and response level if I'm not using my tools very quickly. And it's a mixture of that mental load, it's mental of the physical load, as well as all the emotional stuff that's going on. It's a very heady mix. So what I'm doing is, like I said, is using my tools and sharing it over 90 days. So it's a 90-day program, 12 weeks, and it's called From Frazzled to Calm in 90 Days. And the object is literally to move you to recognise where you are at this moment, recognise where you want to be, how you want to be, and share some tools, tips, prompts, support to help you heal yourself and move yourself on that journey from frazzled to calm. Because we all, and like I said, frazzled has got so many different elements and emotions within it, and everyone's is individual, but by working out in this program we can look at what it is that's the trigger, what's perhaps the biggest trigger, and how we can break that down to move along, move that learned behaviour, that learned response, and shift from that lower space into the space that you really want to find yourself in. And when you've, over that sort of 3-month period, which is quite a long time, there's a lot of scope there for changing, and the thing you start off with might not be the thing that's there might be some other, like an onion, what's presenting itself on the outside will be another emotion, and then underneath that another emotion, and we're going to be using these tools to work through, to defrazzle you, create some space and some accountability as well. Because a lot of these, yes, we can work on emotions and we can work on tools, but a lot of it comes back to ourselves and taking responsibility for ourselves and taking responsibility for our self-care, our self-love, to nurture ourselves in the physical and mental and the emotional side, and it's that trio that we really need. So it's not just the, you know, self-care is not just about going off for a bath. That might be physically relaxing for you, but actually if you're sat in that bath and your mental load is going loopy with all the things you've got to be doing, and when you finish this bath I'm going to have to clean it, I'm going to have to do this, then actually that bath is only working on one of three areas. It's only working on the physical relaxation and not on the mental and the emotional side as well. So it's bringing everything together to really affect that fatberg that's clogging up the system, and get some degreaser on it and start reducing it, start clearing it, start creating that space so that you can actually step into the energies that you want to be, that calm, that more spiritual person, that more supportive mother, that more heart-led person, that heart-led business that you want to step into, that calmer friend, the friend that's there to support others and not just splurge on others, but that bringing that whole balance. Because when we change those three things, when we change the mental, physical and the emotional load that we've got going on that affect the frazzled, then that will then create that space that I think all of us are craving at the moment. And there's so much going on beyond our control. We've just been through a horrific 2 years of lockdowns, and you know, having family and friends wrenched away, having the kids being, you know, pulled out of school and then having to reinsert them into school. Twice that's happened, hasn't it? You know, there's lots of things that are beyond our control, that we can't control, but that again still affects our physical, mental and emotional load, and there's a lot there to deal with as well. So that will be an element as well that we will look at, is just how to help clear and shift the last 2 years and the impact that has had on us, because I think that's really important to be time sensitive and relevant to what's also affecting us on those levels. Obviously there's, you know, the Ukraine situation as well, which is horrific. There's I'm trying to think, there's just so much going on, and I don't think social media helps. I don't think the main media helps either. So it's just creating that space of boundaries is another good one, of you know, putting the boundaries down. This is what I can affect. This is what I can do to improve my mental, physical and emotional load, and move myself forward and move myself into the space that I want to be, the person that I want to be, the energy that I want to share with the world, with those close to me. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, if you're interested in the From Frazzled to Calm, I'm going to open the doors for it next week. So I will create a cart and share the link and things, and pop that in. But if you've got any questions, please let me know. Drop me a message. If it sounds something that you'd be interested in, the price is $4.99 for that 90-day, 12-week, 3-month program, which works out to be about, I know, £5.50 a day, which, you know, is the price of a lunch these days, or, you know, a couple of coffees and things. So it's an investment in yourself to get yourself back, to reclaim your energies, and be able to step into that energy of being the person that you really want to be. That is my object and my aim with the program. So I'm really, really excited to get on with it. So I'm going to pull together the sales page. I'm going to pop up the payment link as well. Like I say, it's $4.99. I think there might be a 3-month payment that I will do over it. It's a payment plan. It's not a monthly scheme. So it's so yeah. And like I say, it's going to be $4.99 for those 90 days. And you'll have access to me within a Facebook community. If I can if people aren't really on Facebook, if people want a different means, what we will also do is we will also be having, a weekly Zoom. So and the content will be within a online course provider as well. So you won't, if you're not on Facebook, what I will do is make sure that that content goes onto the online course, and we will have a weekly Zoom, and that's really the point of the contact, the accountability, the sharing tools, and the teaching element as well as the online course. So if social media is not somewhere you want to be, then I completely understand. And I will, there will be there will be content in there and community if you want it. But if you don't want it, that is fine. You can join us for the Zoom calls, and you can access all the content on an online course provider. So I am excited. So I'm going to go off now and get a drink. So I'm still very full of cold, but it's so nice just to be outside and in the bit of the sunshine. This weather is just so much nicer, isn't it? And it's a little bit of sunshine. I don't know if you can hear the school. Well, school's over there, and there's two schools right close by, and they've obviously got playground and PE and things, and you always have them calling out and screaming and things, which is that energy of childhood. I think is very uplifting. So I shall wish you all a beautiful day. Like I say, if you've got any questions, let me know. If you are interested and want to know more, then drop me a message. Happy to chat. I'm going to pull some more information together. I'm going to be sending an email out with this video, and yeah, I can't wait to get started. So we're going to be starting, I think we're going to start the 1st of June, although 1st of June is a Wednesday, I think, so we might have a couple of days that we'll get everything up and running, and then we'll start the 1st of June. So it's not long to go now, but I think when you know, when you're ready for the change, when you're ready to step into that new energy and recognise and shift and clear, then the time is right. So I wish you all a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon, and hopefully in the programme. Thanks, bye.